Reality. It's an ambiguous concept. It's an individual's perception of environment and situations with their five senses. What that means is how you perceive it is how it is. So when we come to terms with that, we realize we, in fact, create our reality.
We create our own reality. We decide who we are and what we're gonna be.
Alright. Welcome back to another episode of the Leveled Up Podcast with your boy, Mike Adler. Hope everyone is doing well today. As you can see, we're back in the car, baby. Why? Because we can. That's why. It's my show. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And honestly, it's kind of the upside of not having a whole studio built out. Because I can just do whatever I want, wherever I want. Don't get me wrong, as we evolve, I'm sure we'll get a studio space set up. But as I spoke about in a previous episode, imperfect action is better than no action at all. I mean, look, this is episode number 7. And I told you, I had been wanting to do a podcast for over 2 years. And I kept putting it off because I didn't have things set up and I didn't know how I wanted to run the audio and the video. And then I was just like, fuck it. Just put up a camera and record. And look, now I've had a podcast every week for the past 7 weeks. It is what it is. And I appreciate each and every one of you who have watched this. It's so cool that, we're not getting crazy numbers yet, but just the fact that anyone's watching is so cool. And I really do appreciate it. I love you guys. I wish you would leave me some comments so I could really start engaging with you. But we'll get there. I heard actually Alex Hormozy talk about when he first started his podcast. He had 17 views or whatever, and rather than getting discouraged, he thought of it like, if I had 17 people in a room that I was talking to, that'd be pretty cool. So trying to think of it from that framework, just talking to anyone who's willing to listen is appreciated. So let me wet my whistle real quick. So we live in the age of information. Ever since the advent of the internet, there has been so much information available to us. I mean, everything is at our fingertips. And in the past few years especially, it's it just keeps ramping up. There are so many people who are gurus at this and at that and this and that, and we have to ask ourselves, what are their credentials? What have they done? Why do I listen to them? And it's hard to know who to listen to, what to believe, because then you have the regular media doing things in favor of their advertisers, and presenting things that aren't even true half the time or are part of the story. And it's how do you know what to believe nowadays? And that's what I wanted to talk about today is we often give ourselves the best advice. I shouldn't say ourselves. We give better advice then how do I want to word this? I think you might know what I'm talking about, but chances are you know what to do. And we we go out and we search for information because we get paralyzed by, like, I need to know everything in order to take action. And so we're out there and we're learning as much as we can from all these different sources, and then you get the analysis paralysis. There's so much information and you take it all in and you still can't take action because you don't know if you're, like, doing it right. You don't know if it's gonna work, and you tell yourself you don't know what to do. But then if someone comes to you and they say, yeah, this is my situation, I'm having this issue, most people will give that person advice. And it's usually good advice. It's usually what they should do. And that's kind of what I was trying to say before. But then when it comes to yourself, you're just frozen, you're stuck, you don't know what to do. And I'm trying to practice getting into, like, when I don't know what I should do next, asking myself as if someone else asking me for advice. And because, like I said, we usually know what we need to do, but for whatever reason, we just don't, when it comes to us, we don't take our own advice. And I heard someone talk, this might have been Hormozy too, talking about a study that was done where they presented, they had, like, I don't remember the details exactly, but that there were, like, I don't know, say like 10 entrepreneurs or something, and they went to each of these people and they basically presented to them their own situation, but they didn't know they were talking about them, and asked them for what they should do. And then each of them who before said they didn't know what to do about these situations gave the exact advice that they should take. And so I believe that we do know more than we give ourselves credit for. I think we need to kind of disconnect ourselves from, because when you see someone else going through something and you're like, like, that sucks, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal or whatever, but to them it's like a huge deal because they're in it, they're experiencing it. And so they have all the when you're looking from inside out, you feel all of the anxiety and the stuff because you are experiencing it. But then the outside view looking in, it's just like you're able to, when you have that outside perspective, see, like, it's really not that big of a deal. So I feel like we need to kind of have that approach when it comes to giving ourselves advice, because we just get so hung up on things that really don't matter. So, but that's the challenge, because we are us, like, we are the person going through it. So it's a practice of disconnecting and being able to look at your own situation from an outside perspective, to be able to tell you what you think you should do. We need to practice coaching ourselves. And, you know, I've mentioned before how, you know, when it comes to coaching ourselves, the hardest part is the accountability part. Because when you are trying to hold yourself accountable, it's very easy to let yourself slide on things. So that's where, you know, having someone like myself, an accountability coach, like, help you through that portion of it. But to just do nothing because you say you don't know what to do is almost just like saying I'm lazy and I don't care to try. Because, like, if you take the time to sit down and actually, you know, think about the problem, write down the problem, ask yourself the problem, even write down asking yourself the problem, and then write back to yourself, like, the answer, or at least think about how you would answer your own problem as though it wasn't you. Because it's so easy to give someone else advice, and then it's like, you wonder why they don't take it. Because they're the one living it, and they have to do the work and experience the difficulty, or whatever it may be, experience the thing. And, you know, it's very easy to say things, but it's different to do them. Profound, I know. But I believe that our consciousness is our connection to the universe, the higher power, God, and it's who we truly are. And we are given information from that higher power through our consciousness, telling us, guiding us, but we block it out. We block it out with substances. We block it out with just, Netflixing and fucking scrolling and just like dulling our senses. It's so rare that people sit with their thoughts nowadays. Sit in solitude and think. You gotta think, like, all of this is very new. I mean, even 100 years ago, which is not a long time, people didn't have all of these constant sources of entertainment and stimulation, and so they had to sit and think a lot more often. And if the source, God, higher power, universe, is sending us information through our consciousness, we need to tap into our consciousness and not dull it. We need to connect with our thoughts and analyze them and realize, like, you know, you get a gut feeling. That gut feeling, why is that there? It's because it's something that's innate, like it's inside us. It's not like it's coming, it's there. It's that message or whatever. It's that guidance being sent to us to let us know, like, hey, this is whatever it is, gut feeling. And that's why it's so important to trust your gut, because that's yourself. That's the higher power speaking to you, telling you, guiding you. So to ignore it is to, like, slapping God in the face and saying, "Oh, don't worry, I'll do it my way." when you hear it like that, it's kind of silly, right? So we just need to be very careful to not get so wrapped up in all of the information that's out there, and take some time to reflect on our own thoughts and proceed from there. And I think the exercise of, or the practicing coaching yourself is going to help to trust yourself more and be decisive and take action. Because yes, you should think things through before you just rather than impulsively just doing things, but you can't let it paralyze you. I mean, people will literally let overthinking paralyze them to the point they don't do anything, and it's a tragedy, because you know what to do. Like if you feel that you should move, you've been in your hometown your whole life, something's telling you like you need to get out of here, you need to experience the world. Everyone needs to too. If you've never left your hometown, my God, please, even if it's just a year, go live somewhere and see how eye-opening it is. But you have that inside, you have something inside tugging at you, telling you to do it, and then you just push it down and ignore it, when that thing pulling on you very well could be pulling you towards your soulmate or your new career, a new business. Like, I can't tell, for example, me, I had that feeling like I am not meant to be here, I need to get out of here, and I listened to it. So much so that I was going to be moving to Arizona, and the plans fell through the week before, but I had set in my head that I was moving on this date, and my buddy in Colorado was like, hey, my roommate is in rehab, so I have a room available if you want to come here. And so I went to Colorado instead, because I was listening to my intuition, which was telling me I have to get out of here. And that literally has led me to my fiance now, my son, my business, my everything, my life now, which is like, it literally would not exist had I pushed that down and ignored what my gut was telling me to do. And so I'm going to keep this episode short. But please just know that you have more answers than you give yourself credit for. Please do not allow yourself to be paralyzed by overthinking and thinking that you need to know everything before taking action. Be cautious of what other people tell you to do. Not saying that people are going to tell you the wrong thing to do. They might, but just always think for yourself. You know you best. The creator, the universe, is sending you messages. You have to tap into that. You have to trust your gut. You have to listen to your intuition and what it's telling you to do. And then, compare that to what other people may be telling you to do. Just make a decision. Just make sure you include your own into what you're being told. Include your own thoughts in it, because you do know more than you give yourself credit for. And just just try coaching yourself. Next time you feel stuck or you don't know what you need to do, ask yourself as if you were someone else asking you. And then give that person advice and see what comes out. You might surprise yourself. You may know exactly what to do, but the thing is, what you have to do is probably work. There's probably work that has to be done. And work is uncomfortable, and people don't like being uncomfortable. But the truth is, if you want to grow, which is the point of life, if you want to grow and evolve and reach your potential, you have to trust yourself. You know, you can never know the other option. What I mean by that is every decision we make is going to take us some direction in our life. And we'll never know what would have happened if we decided something else. So just know that what you're going to look out for you the most. Don't bury those feelings that are being sent to you from above. Don't push away your intuition. It's telling you exactly what you need to do. And it may be uncomfortable. Every time you crack a beer and you're in the back of your head, a voice or something tells you like, man, you need to stop drinking. But you do it anyways. That voice is the voice from above telling you exactly what you need to do. But you don't want to because it takes work and it's uncomfortable. But you know what you need to do. You know? So, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you who have seen every episode or any episode, thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you could, leave a comment. I want to engage with you guys. I want to grow a community. And, you know, if you do need help with accountability, I'm here. Reach out. And, yeah, trust your gut. Coach yourself first. All right, I love you guys, and have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Peace.